Good morning, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. I wanted to come to you this morning with my March TBR, and I wanted to give my announcements for the three big reading events in the month of March. And those of you that are familiar with BookTube and all the reading events, this will be nothing new. But if you're new to BookTube or new to the channel, you might not be familiar with them. In the month of March, three big reading events that get put on are March of the Mammoths, where we try to read those books on our shelves that never get touched because they're just gigantic. So that would be books of 800 pages or more. That's one reading event. And the idea is you don't necessarily have to get it read within the month, but be working on it. You know, you want to try to get it read if you can, but just the idea of, getting it started. You know, the old saying is a long journey starts with the first step. And so I think that's the idea behind March of the Mammoths. The second reading project that I am going to be participating in is middle grade March. And so I will show you I'm a middle school teacher, and so that kind of goes hand in hand. And I've actually been doing this throughout the whole school year, reading middle grade books, trying to, just get caught up on what my kids are reading in their English classes. And then the third big event, and it has been a ton of fun for me, especially, last year I really got into it, and I want to continue that this year. The third event is March Mystery Madness. And I've got some books picked out for that. They've got a theme going, and it's 2 by 2, and you're able to look at that theme in any way you want to look at it. The big idea is reading mystery books. So let's go ahead and get started with this. And I'm going to start off with March of the Mammoths. So the books that I have chosen for March of the Mammoths, one that's been on my shelf for a long time, and me being a Civil War guy, you would have thought that I would have read this a long time ago, but I'm finally picking it up. It's Gone with the Wind, and this book comes in at 1,024 pages, at least my version does. I've seen other versions that come in at like 1,400 pages. I'm like, wow. Of course, it's going to be the same words, so it's the same amount of reading, but that would definitely intimidate me even more than this one. But my daughter and I had wanted to do a buddy read on this, and we've actually started it. Don't worry, I'm not going to get the majority of the book read before March, but I'm a couple of chapters in. I'm 2 chapters in, and she was finishing up the second chapter last night. And so we're doing a buddy read on this, and I hope to do maybe a series of discussion videos, because I think it's broken into 4 or 5 parts, I think. I haven't even checked on that. I think it's 4 or 5 different parts, and I hope to do maybe a discussion video for each part in the book. And so, be looking forward to those videos. But this is one that I want to conquer in the month of March. The next one for my March of the Mammoths is book 2 of the Century Trilogy by Ken Follett, Winter of the World. And this is another big book. It reads pretty fast for being as big as it is, but it comes in at 940 pages. So it definitely qualifies for March of the Mammoths. And I had started this a while back, but then as Alan pointed out, joking around with me and stuff, he says, I don't think you're supposed to start ahead of time. And so, I'm not going to follow the rules with Gone with the Wind, but I will. I stopped. I'm only like 8 pages in. I'm going to wait till March to really get going on this. So I'm going to follow the rules on that one. I'm going to take your advice, Alan. So the next event that I am going to participate in, like I said, is middle grade March. And I am not sure. I have not looked at anybody's videos, to be honest, for middle grade March. I don't know if there's a theme or anything like that. I'm just taking it as you read middle grade books. And so I'm going to kind of go full steam ahead. And if you haven't followed the channel throughout this school year, one of my goals and objectives was to pick up all of the books from the 8th grade English class, because I'm a middle school teacher, and we're always working back and forth between our classes, between my social studies class and her English class. We do a lot of cross-curricular stuff, and I like to be familiar with the books that they are reading. And I have not done this, diving deep into middle grade books for, it's been 10, 12 years at least. And so basically the English department has gotten a bunch of books for their World War II unit, a bunch of new ones that I had not read before. There's been some stuff in the other English class for American Revolution stuff that would link in with my social studies class. And so it has been my goal to, catch up on my reading for middle grade stuff. So the English teacher gave me this gigantic pile of books at the beginning of the school year, and I've been working my way through them. So long story short, I am towards the very end of the pile finally. And so I wanted to finish off that pile this month if I can. So Projekt 1065, a novel of World War II. And it says he joined the Hitler Youth as a spy. And this is by Alan Gratz. Alan Gratz has a whole bunch of middle grade books that are always at like the book fair when we have a couple book fairs throughout the year, and he's always got something new at the book fair. And I was told that this one's really good. I've been told that several of his other ones are very good also. So I'm going to finish that, or read that one. Haven't started it. I'm going to read that one. And then this was another one that I was told I needed to read. It's called Night Witches. Novel of World War II. It's by Kathryn Lasky. And I'm pretty excited about that. It sounded very interesting. So she's a pilot who's always felt more at home soaring through the sky than down on Earth. But since the Germans surrounded Stalingrad, Valya's been forced to stay on the ground and watch her city crumble. When her mother is killed during the siege, Valya is left with one burning desire: to join up with her older sister, a member of the famous Night Witches, a regiment of female pilots who fly light planes through the curtains of through the curtains of fire to bomb crucial targets. Using all their wits, Valya manages to get past the German blockade and find the Night Witches' hidden base. That's when the real danger starts. The pilots have been assigned a critical mission, one with the power to inflict serious damage on the Nazis. Valya will give anything to fight for her country, but when the person she loves most goes missing, she must make a choice between duty and the deepest desires of her heart. With her signature blend of lyrical writing and heart-racing action, historical fiction master Kathryn Lasky provides a thrilling look at the first all-female combat team, daredevil girls who took on the Nazis and won. The Germans called them Night Witches. The Russians called them heroes. So that sounded like it was going to be a lot of fun. So I'll give that one a read. And then the last one is by Laurie Halse Anderson, and it's called Chains. And this is book 1 in a trilogy that she wrote. I read book 2 earlier in the year, Forge, and I enjoyed that. And I had actually started reading this one last year, and I didn't get very far, put it down. I was going to read it with my class, and it just didn't end up working out time-wise. So I'm going to go ahead and read Volume 1. I've read Volume 2, and then I'll have to try to find Volume 3 called Ashes. So Volume 1 is in the works. And then, so that's all my middle grade March. And then that brings me to March Mystery Madness. And again, the theme was 2 by 2. And so I was trying to think of, how could I do this? And again, the main idea here is to read mystery. It doesn't really matter. You can do March Mystery Madness without even following the theme. But I thought I would try to work it in some way, somehow. So what I did was 2 by 2. So I chose 2 books by an author that I am familiar with, Philip R. Craig. And then I chose 2 new authors that I have never read before. Now, I put this one on last year's list and never got to it. And this year I'm going to make a big point of getting to it. And that is Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. I've heard so many good things about this book, and I was kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't get it read last year. And so I'm going to knock that out. And then the other one that I've heard so much about that I've had on my shelves forever, and I just haven't tackled it. And it's got a series of stories in it, so I might end up getting, I don't know how many. I'm going to look and see. It says 37 short stories and a complete novel from the Strand magazine. This is the original illustrated Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle, and I've never read Sherlock Holmes. I have enjoyed a couple of the TV series that have been done by or about Sherlock Holmes, and I thought, well, I might as well give it a try. And so I'm going to pick out, I don't know which ones I'm going to pick out. If you guys out there have, if you're totally familiar with Arthur Conan Doyle, let me know in the comments, what do you think I should pick out on out of this book to read? I'll give you, there's a list of the different books that are included. So if you want to pause the video and maybe choose a couple of them for me, I would be more than happy to give them a try. I'll go listen to your advice. So let me know which ones you think. And this will, like I said, be my first Sherlock Holmes. So that is my March TBR. That is March of the Mammoths, Middle Grade March, and March Mystery Madness. I am hoping that I can get at least the majority of it read. I might not get all of it read. Last year I put a huge TBR list together and I didn't get quite all of it done, but I did read more than what I normally do, and I think that's kind of the whole point. So anyway, BookTube, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you think. Yeah, and so I'd love to hear what your TBR lists are going to be. I've been listening to a few of them here and there, so let me know. And thank you for watching, and have a great day. Happy reading.